President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, with a deep sense of purpose to share with you a glimpse of my life's journey, my academic qualification, my experience and achievements as a Nigerian. My name is Stella Okotete. I was born on the 20th day of April, 1984. To late Francis Okotete of Ekeranwe Kingdom in Agbaro, Warri, Delta State. I attended Twins Fountain Group of Schools, Ogunu, in Warri, Delta State, and proceeded to the Federal Government Girls College, Benin City, in Edo State, where I obtained my senior school leaving certificate. I also attended the prestigious River State College of Arts and Science, Rumola, in Port Harcourt, where I also obtained my diploma in law in 2002. I also proceeded to Benson Idausa University in Benin City, where I obtained a BA in International Studies and Diplomacy, and proceeded to serve, where I did my orientation camp in Benin, Kebbi State, and finished my service in Edo State. I served with Braindorf Ventures Limited, 20 Ekenwa Road in Benin City, Edo State, and went into politics. I had my share in politics as I was affirmed by the appeal court as a councillor representing the good people of Agbaro in Ughelli North Local Government in Delta State. I held that office for a period and served as chairman of the Councillors Committee on Education and the vice chair on health. During my short stay in the council, I was able to drive the governor's free education projects and programs in my local government. The governor found me worthy and appointed me as a special assistant in 2011 on Millennium Development Goals in Delta State. As SA Millennium Development Goals, I was more in charge of monitoring and evaluation, policy formation, and implementations of the Millennium Development Goals across poverty eradication, maternal mortality reduction, and child mortality reduction, as well as projects that has to do with education. In 2015, May 29th, the tenure of His Excellency came to an end. And the immediate past president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in 2017 found me worthy and appointed me in line with the Act of the Nigerian Export and Import Bank, Section 11 and Section 8 and 14. He appointed me Executive Director of the Nigerian Export and Import Bank in charge of business development. The functions of the ED of the bank, which I still hold till date, is to drive the business directorate of the bank to create quality risk assets and also provide funding to exporters in the non-oil sector. When we resumed in 2017, we met a balance sheet size of 67 billion. We grew it as at 2022, when our tenure was renewed, to 256 billion. We also met a bank that was already recording losses year in, year out for 3 years. As at 2016, the bank recorded over 6 billion loss. Today, the Nigerian Export and Import Bank is standing shoulder to shoulder as one of the leading export credit agencies of Africa. We recorded profits in 2022 of about 6 billion naira. I was also the woman representative, popularly known as the woman leader of the All Progressives Congress Critical Committee in 2020. As woman leader of the ruling All Progressives Congress at that time, I was able to bring to bear quality representations for our women, and we established new policies that will help shape visibility for our women across board. One of it is the Progressive Women Academy, which was approved by the Apple Store and the Google Store. It's an online academy where women can learn various soft skills to make themselves not just visible in the business space, but also in politics. I also understood, being a very young politician that got into politics at a very young age, that there was need to build bridges across the older women in politics and the younger ones. And I established the Progressive Young Women's Forum, which was also a platform to groom future female leaders and mentor them. I'm proud to say today that I have women who were part of my mentees, serving as commissioners, elected as House of Assembly members, and also councillors, and currently some of them as special assistants and advisors at various state levels. I also created the lobby group of the APC women, and we're able to galvanize stakeholders to accept the responsibility to push for more visibilities for our women. Based on that, when we did the review of the APC Constitution, we're able to accommodate another seat for a woman in the NWC. Today, that's the only party in Africa that gives 2 seats, the leader, the woman leader seat and the deputy woman leader seat, to women in the NWC. I also, by the grace of God, was also able to influence such platforms for women across the party structure at the state, local government, and senatorial district. Mr. Senate President, while in Nexim, I'll tell you that I noticed that there was a short in our exports, especially with our commodity exports. Commodity exports in Nigeria, when we resumed, was at its lowest. And we noticed that export of commodities in its raw form means we're exporting labor and we're receiving nothing but very little earnings in FX. And to grow the sector, we decided to introduce products that would add value and export. Today, under our leadership, the leadership of Abubakar Bello and my humble self and my other colleague Bala Bello, we're able to initiate the PAVE agenda, the produce, add value, and export. Today we are producing cashew nuts from Nigeria and exporting. We're also processing other agricultural products for export. Distinguished senators, in conclusion, sir, my vision for Nigeria aligns with the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the aspirations of our great nation to diversify our economy, to strengthen governance, to promote sustainable development, and foster strong global partnership, which I firmly believe. As a young politician, I have a creed, and I believe that public service is an opportunity for me to serve humanity, to give my best, and to ensure that I become a model for other young women in Nigeria and in extension Africa, so they could also add to the economic and social development and growth of their nation. Thank you very much, distinguished senators.
Well, in line with my usual practice of sometimes recognizing one person from the state of origin of the nominee, or sometimes recognizing all, I hope distinguished senators will forgive me if I recognize only one, because after she finished speaking with the extensive CV, you could see that she has a lot of role to play in modeling and mentoring mentees, particularly for future leadership. So let me invite this is the Bangida. You are not from there. Oh. This one that you had is up. Even Senator Abu, allow Senator Ide Dafinone, who is from there, to say something first. Eh? Because I know what you are going to say.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, my name is Chief Ide Dafinone, and I represent the good people of Delta Central Senatorial District in Delta State. I have to disclose as I start that the nominee is very well known to me as one of the constituents in Delta Central. As a strong politician, she has distinguished herself locally and also nationally in the work she has done for our party. But notwithstanding that, I've also worked very closely with the nominee when I served for 1 year as a non-executive director at Nexim Bank. What the nominee did not mention is that her position as the executive director of the business development unit meant that she was in the engine room of the bank. The business development office is the operational department of Nexim Bank. So she was in charge of operations of the bank. And in that position, she has been responsible for growing the balance sheet of the bank and has done exceptionally well. I want to add also that as a young woman, she has also favored the youth and women in her policies at the bank. That is aside from the policies she has done at home, encouraging young people in various developments and empowerment programs. She has also been very instrumental in growing non-oil exports. And at today's date, non-oil exports are a key focus of this administration as we protect the need to grow our economy in the background of dwindling oil reserves and a move globally away from fossil fuels to more sustainable forms of energy. So my question that I would like to put to the nominee so that she can extend, yes please. My colleague says she has distinguished herself already. So what remains is for me to say that I speak on behalf of my two colleagues from Delta State, who are both fully in support of the nominee, and to ask distinguished members if the nominee from Delta State could please be recognized for her good work at Nexim Bank, with the background that she has served one complete term at Nexim Bank, and that term has been renewed about a year ago, which shows that she has distinguished herself at the bank. With that, Mr. President, I ask distinguished members to please ask the nominee from Delta State to please take a bow and go. Thank you, Excellency.
Off your mic. Honestly, when she mentioned that she was the woman leader of the greatest party in Africa, I just remember that we are all from political parties, and in normal circumstances, the party is supreme. Is it the wish of the Senate that the nominee should take a bow? Yes. Those who are in support say aye. Aye. Those who are against say nay. The ayes have it.